Hello everyone, this is your Krishna from Women Today YouTube channel. So in this channel, we have been interviewing many women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India. We are traveling to different cities and we are doing offline interviews across different cities in India. And also we are doing online interviews across different cities and also across different countries in the world. So today's our guest is from Mumbai and her name is Simona De Souza and she is the owner of Arts and Craft. So I welcome you, Simona De Souza, ma'am, to this Women Day YouTube channel. So please kindly introduce
Thank
about
you.
yourself, about the kind of work that you do to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Firstly, thank you so much, Krishna, for such a sweet introduction. My name is Simona D'Souza, and I am the face behind Heart and Craft, as in I'm the founder of Heart and Craft. So, few years back, what just began as a simple love for experimenting with resin art, it grew over a period of time into a brand known as Heart and Craft, where today I create one of a kind resin creations. Like, for it's literally everything that I can create out of resin art, the home decor pieces or any functional pieces, wall arts, anything that you're looking out for. Apart from that, I even conduct workshops. So if you are willing to learn this medium, to learn this art form, I do conduct online and offline workshops all across India for the same as well. So that is a bit short introduction about me.
Okay, so before moving on to the other questions, the very first question which every people wanted to know is, what do you mean by resin art, ma'am? Because it's a term which is actually new to the industry, which is new to the environment. Because before 10 to 20 years, this kind of business never existed. Of course, it might be existed in some of the other forms. So right now, resin arts, it's like a trending one. So can you tell us a little bit about Resinart so that the interview will be proceeded with the people having a little knowledge about the work of resin artwork, ma'am?
Sure. So resin art is really trending these days. It is a art form that is, rapidly growing. People are getting a lot interested in learning that, knowing about it. So resin art, before I explain what is resin art, I would like everybody to understand what is resin. Okay. So resin is nothing but what we call it as epoxy resin. It is a chemical. It is a chemical composition which includes a resin and a hardener. So if when you go to a shop to purchase resin or anything, you will always see resin coming in a pack of two bottles. That is a resin and a hardener. So when you mix both of these contents together, that is the time a chemical reaction takes place, and that leads to the formation of these artworks. So when you mix them, a reaction will take place, and that liquid resin, it gradually over a period of time, after a few hours, it converts into a hard crystalline object. So that is what is your resin art piece that is being formed. So for simplicity purpose, nowadays people don't refer to it as epoxy resin, it is just known as resin. And any art form that you create using this resin, it is known as resin art. So basically resin art is a chemical that you need to take the utmost precautions and work with it, and then you create beautiful masterpieces out of it. Like today, if you go in the market, you'll see a lot of resin art pieces, and what will catch your eyes at the first glance when you see a resin artwork is the glossy, the crystalline substance that you get. So that is in short about what is resin art.
That's great to know about resin art because it's basically like an art which is available in many markets. And if people like to purchase it, they can purchase it because the artworks which they can actually exhibit in the kind of living rooms of their homes, in the offices, in such way. That's what you're trying to tell, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes, definitely.
And also tell us, ma'am, what actually made your inspiration towards this resin art work department, ma'am? Because there are a lot of departments in which we can actually pursue our professional career. But was it like a gradual discovery, or is it like someone coming and telling you that there is this kind of department where you can go and make a try? Or is it like where did you get this kind of inspiration in this resin art work department, ma'am?
So basically, I would say my journey with resin art, it began few years back, I think from 2019 or something, wherein I just randomly one day I had registered for a resin art workshop of 1 hour just on a learning platform. And it was nothing, I just wanted to learn something new, experiment doing something new, and that 1 hour session literally sparked my interest, I would say. From then on, I kept on experimenting. I tried a lot of things. I saw them YouTube and everything, and I started learning by myself. So, firstly, it was a moment of inspiration, the class that I attended, and then became a gradual discovery all by myself when I started experimenting more about resin art.
So you entered into this department.
So it was all that began from the session.
Yeah, you entered it.
Yeah, I was in the sense. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, you can just continue. Then I will explain, ma'am.
It's just that when I was in 2019, when I had conducted this, sorry, when I had joined this class, it was a 1 hour session on some learning platform. That time I was simultaneously working. I was working in a corporate firm. So it was just like a hobby. I just wanted to learn something and I joined it. But over a period of time, I felt it was more than a creative outlet. I kept on learning, and finally, my journey went from a hobby, it became a full fledged business then.
Yeah, I truly understand that you always wanted to experiment at something new. You entered the industry and you worked on it, and it was very inspirational. It was like very exciting to you. You started working on it. You felt yourself that you can actually achieve a lot in this department. So that's how you made a separate career, a second career out of your primary professional career. You started this as a secondary one, and now it's going as your primary one. Yeah, I do understand now. So
Yes.
yeah. Can you remember your first resin art project? Can you please explain about it? Because it's very
Um,
inspirational with the very first the resin art what we work to do. So tell us about it now.
yeah, so I clearly remember my first resin art project was the resin keychains I had made. They were simple, but it was exciting at that moment because watching the resin set and transform into something so glossy and solid, it was very magical. It felt really magical at that time. So, yeah, I very well remember it was the resin keychains that I had made.
Yeah, okay. Also at the same time, every creative project, whatever we do, whatever we start at the beginning, will have lots of hurdles, obstacles, challenges. So tell us what are the challenging part, what are the most obstacles that you have faced, what is the most struggling kind of days that you faced while working with the beginning of your resin art project works, ma'am.
So when I started working with resin art, the greatest challenge that I faced was with mixing. So as I had said, resin is a chemical. It includes a hardener and a resin, both mix. So for most of the people, it's like कि क्या ही करना है resin दोनों को you just mix and हो गया. But it's not like that. It requires a proper proportion that you need to take. So I had a lot of trials and errors that I went across, and then I understood how to mix in the proper proportion, the mixing ratios, the curing time, and how should I even work more patiently with this medium. You cannot just simply make haste with that. It takes its own time to cure and everything. So the greatest challenge at that time was for me to mix properly, because at times I ended up making resin art pieces which wouldn't become hard. They wouldn't dry up completely. So they would remain sticky and they would remain soft only. So over a period of time, I experimented, I tried a lot, practice, and then I learned how to mix it in the correct ratio. Today, most of the people, they face the same issue. They try, but the mixing ratio goes wrong, and they do not be able to form that particular artwork properly. So that was one thing that I faced.
Any artworks requires some kind of dedication, patience towards it. Of course, mixing proportions is everything has to happen at the right kind of proportion. Not only in your resinart workshop, consider if you're being a cook, if you want to have a good dinner, if you want to cook a good, really good food, then you have to make everything at the right temperature with the right proportion. Then only at the right timing. Then only you'll be able
Correct.
to have a good food. And also consider other form of artworks. Consider maybe it may be a sculpture, it may be a clay artery work. It requires most patience, dedication, because consider when you're doing some kind of mud clay kind of projects, the wheel will be just
True.
spiraling outside, and whatever you're just going to make a mold with your own hands, and it doesn't happen at the very first time. It requires a lot of patience, dedication, and of course everything happens only at the correct proportion, as you said, and also the kind of dedication
Yeah.
what we have. Because if we have a full utmost potential and utmost dedication, then only we'll be able to achieve the kind of artworks is something like which doesn't need some kind of great knowledge, but I think great patience, because only with the great patience comes great results. So I do understand that you are actually,
Definitely.
that's actually a kind of inspiring story. And also tell us, because tell us, man, because you told us at the beginning part that you started this as a kind of hobby. Then how did you actually transform this hobby into your complete professional career as a startup journey? Now you are teaching this kind of resin art workshop to a lot of students, online and offline. So tell us your transformation from beginning as a hobby of this resin art workshop, I mean, as resin art works, to a complete startup journey, and tell us all about it, ma'am.
Yeah, so initially, as I said, resin art was just a hobby wherein I would do this, I would experiment doing this in my free time after work and all. I would work with resin. But then I would, when I started doing this, I did little bit tiny things and I shared it with my family, with my friends. Then I uploaded it on social media. So the response that came was very encouraging. Over a period of time, people were like, would you like to make for us? We want to place an order, something customized. Can you do it? So I started taking in like that tiny orders and stuffs, and it started becoming a little greater. So then I felt there is something more to Resinart that I can do it. So then I started buying more raw materials, more of the tools that are needed for resin art. Then I polished my techniques here and there. I happened to learn more things just by viewing here and there. So then I tried it that way and all, and then finally I said I even started conducting workshops. Then when I was working simultaneously in a corporate firm, I couldn't manage more time to give to Resinat, because you know how much time a corporate job eats. They say it's 9 to 5, but it is not 9 to 5. I I would do a lot of overtimes and meeting deadlines and everything, but somewhere my heart was over there. I wanted to, literally give my full fledged, my full focus over there. So then I said one day, finally, I am quitting my job. I'm leaving this 9 to 5 thing. I end up giving up all this overtimes and everything. I know it was a difficult thing, a very difficult decision to take. Most of the people today, they will not take this decision. So I say it's very difficult to take this, but I did it. I took that risk, and then today finally I'm here. I'm happy I took that decision. So that is it.
really quitting a 9 to 5 job is something like a great struggle. It's like a transformation. It's a kind of different kind of thing which we find about ourselves. It's the new ourselves. So that's a good kind of step which you took
Yes.
towards a professional career. And also tell us, ma'am, you were saying that you accept kind of custom orders. So can you please tell us some of your memorable custom orders, like what kind of resin artworks do people actually expect from you? They may be having a lot of different kind of custom orders, but some of the orders it will be very common that most of the people will be having some kind of common kind of artworks that they used to ask. So tell us about the kind of custom orders what you do, and also what are the kind of models that you have already shipped, you have delivered. So tell us about your experience in creating custom orders of art pieces, ma'am.
Yeah, so most of the people see now, most of the clients that come to me, they come up with various customizations that they want. But in common, in on an average, what I have seen is people come over to me more for clocks when they want the geode clockwork. So I have done a lot of clocks. I have made those wherein I have put it on my page as well. So you can just check whether the resin clockworks that I have done. Apart from that is the keychains. They love the way I do this keychains and stuff. And another very important I have seen is people they come over to me locally over here, as in like for the Varmala preservation. So resin is something that you can preserve your Varmalas in it. Like Varmalas are something very special. After the wedding, the bride won't want to throw it away. So this is a very beautiful way wherein you can preserve your Varmalas in resin. So once the wedding is done, they just come over to me, they hand over their Varmalas, and the flowers go through a moisture removal process. So after they are totally dry, everything properly, without the colors being gone, then I preserve them in resin. So out of that Varmalas, you can make Varmala clocks, you can make Varmala trays, coasters, or photo frames. Anything you can do, or a wall art, anything. There are plenty of things that you can do. So most of the times, like these are the things that people look come in for customization. They would like to preserve their Varmala, especially now that it is off season. But once the wedding season starts, there are a lot of orders or customization that people want for these Varmalas thing.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the most common kind of trend in today's kind of in the past decade, because many people once after the wedding is over, nearly 70 to 80% of people they always wanted to preserve the most kind of memorable moments with the vermalas, with the garlands, which they wanted to preserve till the end of their life, so that it will be like a good memory for them. And of course, you actually help them to preserve with the kind of work that you do. That's a great kind of custom order. What are you doing? And also tell us, ma'am, if anybody wants to have a kind of purchase order from you online, so how can they actually place a custom order? And do you have any kind of website where they can place a custom order, or is it like you have any kind of social media where they want to particularly go and kind of contact you, and how can they actually place an order? So tell us about the beginning of the order coming to you, and how is the order going to be delivered, dispatched. So tell us from the beginning to the end every process about it, ma'am.
Sure. So, till now, though, I had a website, okay, but right now I do not have it. But I post all my commissioned artworks and my new creations on my Instagram page, that is Heart and Craft. So, if anything catches your eye from my page, or you like anything customized to be made, you just need to drop me a DM there. I'll get in touch with you. I will help you with the customization, the pricing, and then you can confirm your order hassle free through that. Once the order is confirmed, then I will keep you updated with your order, how is it going, when am I going, like how is it looking, when the work is in progress, I'll send you pictures of it, just so that you get an idea how the work is happening. And then once it's done, before the dispatch, I will send you a final picture also. Once it is done, I give you the tracking number so you can track accordingly. So this is the way you can place your order via Instagram. In times you, I have even over there mentioned my phone number. So if anything as such is an urgency or anything, you can even call me up and you can directly get in touch with me for the product that you are looking, and we can move ahead accordingly then that.
Yeah, great.
So right now it is basically my main contact is the Instagram page, that is Heart and Craft Mind.
Yeah, I'll mention your Instagram page, Hearts and Crafts, the YouTube description, so that people can have a look at it. If anybody wants to have any kind of custom orders, you can click, have a kind of conversation with our Hearts and Craft founder, Simona ma'am over here, and you can place your custom order, and you can make sure that the package is delivered to your home or any kind of your convenient location by just tracking it, because she is giving every kind of support from the beginning to the end. That's a kind of great thing, ma'am. So also tell us, ma'am, how long does it actually take for a kind of client if they place an order to you, and how long do they have to wait for the order to arrive at the doorstep of any of their convenient location? And also tell us if there is any kind of factors which will affect the timeline of the delivery process. So what are the kind of factors? So tell us all about the time which it will take to receive the custom order placed to you, ma'am.
Sure. So basically, the timeline depends on the complexity of the product that you place order for. So if it is something like it is, a wall art piece or something, like if it's a keychain or anything or bookmark or anything, that will not take much time. But if it's something a little big and all, so on an average, I would say it would take around 5 to 15 days on an average, depending on the type of product that you are placing an order for. So then your creation time, the sourcing of the materials for making that product, then you have your curing time, the designing part. I will confirm, have a meeting with the client, and I will try to understand how do you want the design. I will share around 5 6 patterns. Then the client will tell me, okay, I want this type, this pattern, and all accordingly. So I catch almost like 5 to 15 days on an average, depending on all of these factors, like your curing, your creation, your sourcing of the materials, your designing part. All taking this into consideration, it would take this much time. But I also keep the customers, my clients, updated. So at each point of time, you will have an update coming from me about your product, so that you are not in the dark anywhere. So you can directly call me up or you can WhatsApp me or whatever, but from my end, I will keep giving you an update about your product.
That's a kind of
So
good
that way
information.
it goes.
That's really a good information, ma'am, because most of the people, once they place the order, they'll be like, it's most about when will we be able to get the order. Is it like, I even don't care about the money, but I care about the kind of my memorable moments which has to come to my hands
Yeah.
the very nearest timeline as soon as it's possible. So you have a kind of good work by just keeping updates, by sending updates to the clients what's happening in the work, whether the work is beginning or it's at the end kind of timeline. And also you're able to kind of quickly make the updates via WhatsApp, via Instagram, and also you are just making sure that the client can track where our order once it's delivered. It's totally a very good support which you are giving to the people, ma'am. And also tell us, do you ship only to people across India, or is it like people across international countries? There may be many people across several countries who actually wanted, they may be they have their marriages in India, but they travel to foreign countries for the work. But before traveling to the foreign country, they will be handing over the Varmalas to you, so that you can make sure that you preserve and give to them and you can just deliver to them to the international locations. So tell us, how do you work with the projects? Is it only from India, or is it only for foreign countries, or do you do both, or how do you actually kind of have any kind of experience? How you actually shipped your projects to international countries? So tell us your history, your experience about this kind of delivering kind of things, ma'am.
Yeah, so firstly, yeah, I ship internationally also and all across India as well. So if you are interested in placing your order with me, you can just get in touch again, drop me a DM on Instagram with your location and the product that you are looking for, and then I accordingly will guide you for the shipping process, the costing, and the timeline that it will take. Like I have done earlier, I have shipped projects mine to Canada and to Dubai as well. So literally till now, so I haven't got for Varmala preservation internationally, but I have done across India. So when they want to preserve their varmalas or anything like that, or any special kind of flowers, then I give them, once the order is like totally confirmed by the opposite client, then I send them my address. So they need to share their varmalas, they need to send their varmalas to my address. Once I receive those, then after that starts the moisture removal process of the varmalas. So once that moisture removal process takes around like 10 to 15, it depends literally on the condition of the flowers. So I give them special, tips how to send their flowers to me rightly when they are sending from very far away place to mine, so that when until it comes to my place, it should not be that the flowers are totally gone fungal and they are got spoiled or anything. So with the proper instructions and all, I give them and they send it to me. Once I receive, then the work begins like that. But yeah, I do ship internationally as well as all across India.
That's really a kind of very dedicated kind of work that you have to do, because you have to make sure that the client's work has to reach the place in the way they want. Because as you said, there are a lot of difficulties in maintaining the kind of work that you do, and also to make sure it takes some time. So I do understand, ma'am. So also tell us, ma'am, are your resin pieces safe to use for food or everyday kind of purpose? Or is it like mainly for the decorative purpose? So tell explain about it, ma'am.
Yeah. So most of the resin pieces are decoratives, but I do functional things as well. So it depends on the type of product again that the client is placing order for. If the client comes over and wants to place an order for a coaster set or a tray, so these are the things that may come in contact with food. So at that time, I only use the food grade resin. So the food grade resin is something that when it comes in contact with food, it's nothing, it's no harm. It is totally harmless once it is cured. So if the client opposite person is placing an order for something related to such things like it will come in contact with food, I will be using the food grade resin. So it totally depends on the purpose of the product that you place an order for. Accordingly, I do it for decoratives as well as for functional needs as well.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So also that you told that there is a lot of works with different kind of resin artworks which we do. So tell us, how do you actually make sure that each and every kind of resin artworks you do are priced at the right level? Because there is a lot of things that you have to do because of the time, because of the shipping, because of the kind of intense work that you have to do. You have to make sure for kind of formulas, you have to preserve that at the right temperature, and everything happens because each and every resin artworks, maybe it may be a tiny project, or it may be a massive project. It may be shipped to India, or it may be shipped to internationally kind of countries. So tell us about the pricing structures, how you actually make sure that each and every project that you work with are priced at the right levels. So tell us your experience about it, ma'am.
Yeah, so pricing your artwork is very important. It is, it's like literally creating a balance between creativity and your practicality, because each project when you make, there is a lot of time, effort and precision that goes into it. So it is very important that you price your resin artworks, these handmade works, very in the right manner, that you are not making a loss also to yourself. So at that time, I take certain factors into consideration, like I have the cost of the quality materials. The materials all that I'm using for the project, I take that into consideration. Then comes the size of the project. The size, the complexity of the project, how complex is the design of the project. I take that into consideration, as well as the number of hours that I invest to make that. So depending on the number of hours as well, I will accordingly price the product. So these are certain factors. Also, as you know, resin art is handmade. So no two products are always the same. It cannot be totally the same. So there is individuality in each product that you make. So that too adds to its value. So these are certain factors which you have to take into consideration when you are pricing your resin artworks. It is very important that you price them in the right manner. So every little thing you have to take into consideration: the costing, the time spent on it, the size, the complexity, everything. And accordingly, I then do it.
The pricing structures of different artworks that you do. Of course, the time which it takes for each and every project will decide the pricing. And also, if there is any kind of uh, functions and if there is any kind of occasions, there must be a lot of orders coming to you. And during those times, you'll be finding it difficult to even dispatch very tiny objects because you have to work with each and every orders. Of course, first come or first served, but also at the same time you want to make sure that some persons wants to have the memorable moments reached. I mean, they want the memorable moments to be delivered at the home as soon as possible. But the thing is that according to your work, according to your kind of work profession, you always wanted to make sure that however time, whatever time, as soon as possible, you're making sure that the clients get the resin artworks delivered at whatever time it's possible. So I do understand that all these kind of timing factors, and of course the resin materials which you use, because some projects may require a great kind of investment that you have to do even for tiny structures, and some artworks even it may be very large but it may require very less materials. So of course materials which you make as an investment in order to make the final resin artworks also plays a very vital factor in deciding the pricing structure. So all these kind of things finally contributes to the pricing structure. I do understand that it's very complicated and you have to discuss only with your clients. I do understand, ma'am. So also tell us, ma'am, so you conduct both offline and online workshop. So how do these experience have a difference when we are actually conducting this kind of resin art workshops? So what can we expect when we come to online, and what can we expect when we come for offline kind of workshops, and where do you actually held this kind of offline kind of workshops in Mumbai? So tell us all about it, ma'am.
Yeah, so basically, online and offline, these workshops, they both are fun and interesting, but yes, they both offer slight different experiences. Like when it comes to offline workshops, you have that hands on, experience, the in person environment wherein I will guide you step by step how to do a project, and also answer your questions immediately and everything. But at the same time, when it comes to online, then you have that thing of, you can learn from your home, you follow at your own pace at that time, but at the same time you get that personalized guidance through your live sessions that I conduct. So either way, you go in for an online or you go in for an offline, you will end up learning all the skills, and you will exactly understand how to create those masterpieces. It's just that there's slight of these differences and nothing else in that.
So also tell us, ma'am, what are the kind
So
of,
yeah, I conduct and
yeah, you were just telling something, you
yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah, you continue.
You can just continue it, ma'am.
No, it's just that when it comes to offline, I do conduct offline workshops in certain places. Like I decide if I have to conduct right now in this location, or if I get somewhere like people are saying that I'm getting a lot of requests from so and so location, so I plan accordingly in that location. So in some cafes or anything like that, I plan for a workshop offline.
Yeah, I do understand that the offline kind of workshops actually work according to the demands in the location. So that's a great thing, ma'am. And also tell us, ma'am, what kind of projects can we expect? Which are the projects do you actually teach to your students? So tell us about the workshops, the kind of artworks that you teach your clients coming to you, ma'am.
Yeah, so I conduct a variety of things. I teach a lot of things in my workshops. Like I have the full-fledged casting and coating classes of resin art, wherein you can learn to make this geode clocks, the mirror artworks, the 3D moon lamps. Then you have all of these keychains, the bookmarks or puja thalis, the trays, the posters, photo frames, anything. So I have like now one workshop which is coming up on the 20th of September. So that is a total full-fledged online workshop for casting and for coating. So that is how I conduct a lot of things. I teach a lot of things in the workshops. If other than if like other than that, you want to learn something in specific, like only that particular thing, then I also conduct private one-on-one workshops as well. So you can offer that also accordingly.
Yeah, okay. So also tell us, ma'am, for the very first timers who they wanted to learn about resin arts, when they are just working with the resin kind of chemicals, it will be very kind of intimidating. And how do you make sure that your workshop are totally approachable, totally safe and fun? So tell us about your approach and how do you make sure that the friends that they're practicing with your kind of resin art workshop, they're in a very safe environment, fun environment, and a lot of things that they can expect from you in this workshop now.
Yeah, so firstly, resin art, it is, I understand, it can be intimidating. People may not be, they be very nervous whether I'll be able to do it or no, and how will I do it. So I make it very beginner friendly. Like when you join a workshop, I will not directly be making you to work on a project. So the first start of the class is where you understand theoretically what is resin, what is resin art, what are the types of resin, what are its properties. As I had said earlier, it is a chemical. So what are the safety precautions that you need to take? Who can and who cannot work with resin? So after all of this, then you get a theoretical idea. Then I demonstrate. So once I demonstrate and I show you, and then you do it after me accordingly when I guide you. So that is how I go across, and I give the ready kits at your doorstep. And I also am giving you a step by step guidance. So with all of this, the resin art workshops that I conduct, they are super easy and fun. Like if any beginner will totally be able to do it with all the fun. It's so easily done.
Yeah, okay. And also tell us, ma'am, what kind of projects will actually excite the students when they're having a kind of fun session with a resin art workshop that you conduct. So tell us what are the techniques, what are the kind of projects which will make sure that the students feel very excited when they're working with you in this resin art workshops.
Yeah, so basically, anything the students are usually I've seen on an average basis, most of them are usually they come up for learning the clocks. Okay, and that clocks they are very much fascinated by the shine, the textures that are being created on those things. So when it comes to this wall arts or the resin jewelry that I make, so these are the things that I see a lot of excitement when it comes to this. After all, resin being a chemical, once it is set, it gives that glossy finish. So that is something that it mesmerizes everyone's heart. It is always magical to see your resin artwork totally transformed into a solid thing once it is done, that crystallinity to see in that. So that always creates an excitement in the students. Whatever the project, they are always excited to see how would the end product that they have made it looks once it is totally dried up.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So also tell us what is your favorite kind of project that you would like to teach to students, because you will be always very excited to have your own project which you like to teach to your students. So tell us about it, ma'am.
Yeah, so my favorite project to teach the students is personal favorite is the Lotus Pond workshop. I like to teach that the Lotus Pond thing. So presently I have been teaching that offline to many of them. Online I yet haven't introduced that thing. I want to start with online classes of that workshop of that. But when it comes to offline, the Lotus Pond workshop is my favorite.
So also tell us one behind beyond actually teaching the kind of skills which you have to use for your resin art workshops. How do you actually make sure that you also teach your confidence and you also create a community, because there are a lot of students coming to you and there will be a good community, good atmosphere to work with the kind of resin art workshops. So tell us, how do you actually make sure that you also teach beyond skills, that you make sure that there is a confidence building and also there is a community building in the resin art workshops that you actually conduct now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I feel that conducting these workshops of resin art, it is way more than simply teaching or learning a new skill. As in, I have seen people coming to me very nervous at the first time. They don't know whether they'll be able to do it or no. But at the same time, when they are leaving, they feel much more confident and they take that pride in what they have created, that masterpiece that they create with their own hands. So it is something, that feeling is different. It is like building a community of people, because you have in these workshops people from different backgrounds, people from different arenas coming in. They share their thoughts, they will communicate with one another, they share their ideas. So they even encourage each other. And to see, I've literally seen, people even after the workshop, they have that bond with one another, they still stay in touch. The bond that is formed during that workshop when they still carry on later as well. So it is a very good thing. It is a lot more. You meet different people, you have a bonding that has been created through this art form, through this medium.
Of course, each and every kind of bonds happens with trust, with time and everything. And people, whenever they do have kind of resin art workshops with you, it makes sure that they can have some confidence. And once they finish their classes, they are having a kind of rapport with you. And this actually makes sure that you're actually very reputed brand, because there is a famous saying from great legends like Ratan Tata, like when you actually sell a kind of project to people, then actually you had made a sale. So when other people tells that kind of sales that they have purchased, then it's like something you build a trust, and with the help of which that whole community, when they come to you, then it's like you are building a very reputed brand. So now your kind of confidence building and the kind of interactions and the kind of rapport, even after your resin art workshop over, they're trying to have a kind of bond with you. So it actually proves that you're actually a well reputed kind of professional that you have towards your resin art kind of works that you do have. So also tell us, ma'am, what are the most challenging kind of resin art workshops that you have done? Because at the beginning of the interview, I have just asked you what were the challenging things that you faced as a beginner, but now also being a pro in this resin art workshop, there must be a lot of challenges that you might have been facing. So what are the challenges that you have faced while you're working with this resin art workshops? Tell us about it, ma'am.
Yeah, so as in, like, I wouldn't say a project that I face difficulty with, but yeah, there are some techniques that even now I had lately faced issues in that. Like, there is something called as one pebble technique. When I saw that on on YouTube and everything. I felt it was like super easy to do. I'll try it on and everything. But when I did that, it literally took me a lot of again trials and errors to get to that perfection. So that one technique was something that I faced challenge in. So it's not that I am yet gone pro in everything. It's just that each day working with Resinart, it's like learning something new, facing a new challenge. You can never say that, yeah, you're done. Everything you've learned, everything in Resinart. Every day is a new experiment that you do, new thing that you will learn even in your mistakes. So that was one thing that lately I have faced issue in that, but I think I have now gone good at that and soon coming up with a workshop for that as well.
Yeah, that's a great thing because each and every day in any kind of department that we work, we can actually learn some few things very new. That's actually great that you are very happy to learn in each and every mistake that you do in each and every day in your professional life. So also tell us, ma'am, in the very next 5 years or 10 years, where do you want to see your work, your resin art kind of workshops and your arts and craft band? That's a brand which you want to establish very well, still more perfectionist, you wanted to have it in the kind of perfect level in the future. So tell us, what are your plans, what are your new ventures that you wanted to do in the future, where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? So tell us about your future ventures and your future plans, ma'am.
So I envision art and craft to be like, a very well known, a very well known brand as in the resin art industry, wherein, I have my own large, bigger space, my bigger dream studio, and I connect with different creators on various social media platforms and also work on two large, masterpieces and all, the huge, large scale masterpieces and all. So that is something that I dream about in the next 5 years. I hope that it works out.
Yeah, it will surely work. Wishing you all the best for your futures and whatever kind of dream that you have, because you are already working on it, and surely the universe will make sure that what are the professional works that you have to attain the future, it will come to you, ma'am. So also tell us, ma'am, there is a lot of things because resinart workshops is kind of trending in the recent years. So if anybody wants, if any of your junior wants to come and be a pro like you in this resin art workshops, what are the kind of advice that you would like to give to your juniors, and what are the kind of life experiences that you would like to share to them, so that they will also be coming to the biggest level like you, that you are actually existing in this resin art workshop department, ma'am?
Yeah, so I would just say one thing that, guys, if you want to start, now is the moment. Don't delay don't wait for the right time. There is never a right time. So just start. If you want to start with resonance, start. Okay, but only certain things that I would say is that resin art may seem glamorous on social media and things, okay, but you need to have proper practice. You need to take the right safety precautions and a lot of things when it comes to resin art. So just work with proper safety precautions, have a lot of practice, experiment things, okay? You may go wrong when you are experimenting, you will make mistakes, but even in those mistakes, you will learn something new. So go in, continue with that. Just go in with the flow. Just continue with your creative flow, and you will reach where you want to one day.
Of course, that's a very great message to your juniors. It's not only for the resin art workshop department, it may be to any other work or departments. It's not a particular time that you have to wait to start your project. You can start your project whenever time, whatever time you have at the present time, because only when you start working on it, because only then you can make some mistakes and you can learn from the mistakes, and you can actually make yourself the kind of pro level that you wanted to achieve in the kind of work department that you are actually are. So actually, also tell us, ma'am, do you actually do this kind of resin art workshops, resin art kind of works just as your profession, or is it like something beyond that, like you always wanted to do this till your end of your life, you always wanted to pursue that, you wanted to do something which will be, you wanted to contribute something memorable to the society? So tell us, what are the ideas that you are having in your heart towards your profession, towards this kind of resin art works that you do in this professional life, ma'am?
Yeah, so today I would say art and craft has grown into a business, but resin art is something more than just art to me today. It's like my creative escape. It's like a therapy. It's like literally a therapy, a kind of meditation that you do. Each time that you pour resin, that I pour resin, it's like emotions flowing out. Every piece has a story in it. So this is something that, yeah, it's a lot more than just being a business to me. And if anybody, most of the women, the women, they come over to me to learn this art form, and I am glad if I can contribute even a little to make them independent, financially independent, if they can be through this art medium. So this is how I just tell it is a lot more than just being a mere business or anything.
Yeah, of course, I do understand that whenever you're working with the resin art, whenever you're pouring your resin, it's like you're pouring your heart out. You're working your heart out. So you're also making sure that people are coming to you there. They wanted to have some kind of memorable moments with you, that kind of interaction and the kind of results that you wanted to give to your clients. So all these contribute to a well factor that is kind of profession actually places a very well. It is a very kind of thing which has very separate kind of place in your heart. I do understand, ma'am. So one very final question for this interview is very simple. Via this interview, if you wanted to tell any kind of message to the people who are watching this interview, it may be to the kids, it may be to the middle-aged person, to the old-aged person, or any kind of age. What kind of message would you like to tell to the people who are watching this interview right now, ma'am?
It's just that, guys, whatever, it's just, that very few people uh, tend to listen to their heart. Today, the world is in such a place that people are running. People are literally so much into work, 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 and there's so much of like the world never sleeps. Even nighttime, people are working and everything. But somewhere, take if you like to do something, take your time out and do it. You will literally, like live your entire life only working. It won't make sense. You just remove some bit of your time to do something what you like, just for that change of mind, to get a little stress free. It is always important that that each person should have a little hobby or something in life. I'm not saying that make your hobby every time into a primary occupation. It's not possible for everybody to do that. But if you get a chance, always take a break from your busy routine life and take out time to do something what you like. That's it.
Yeah, that's a very great message, ma'am. Of course, each and every people want to generate some kind of revenue. They are working towards the money and they're just making sure that 24 by 7 they're actually moving towards the kind of work that they always wanted to do and earn some kind of revenue. But of course, our heart, our mind needs some kind of rest. Not only the physical rest, but also kind of mental rest, which we can actually focus on by doing the things which we actually wanted to do in this life. Only then we'll be able to have kind of refreshment within ourselves, and it will also contribute well to the kind of work, the kind of professional work which we are doing. That's actually great message from you, ma'am. So people who are watching this interview, please go click on the subscribe button, bell icon, so that you can receive notifications whenever I do post new videos regarding women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India and also across different countries in the world. So today's your host is Krishna, hosting this Women Today YouTube channel, and today's our guest is from Mumbai. Her name is Simona de Souza, and she is the founder of Arts and Crafts, and she is also running many resin art workshops. So people who wants to have some kind of coachings from Simona ma'am can actually go through the Arts and Craft Instagram profile link, which I'll be sharing with you in the YouTube description down here, so that you can have a look at it, have kind of message her. If you want to have your Varmala's preserve, you can also contact her, and there is a lot of resin art works which is done by her. You can also place some kind of custom orders if you wanted to have some, and that's all the thing which I wanted to tell to you via this interview. So thank you once again, Simona ma'am, for having me, hosting you in this Women Today YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So wishing you all the best for your future ventures in this resin art works, whatever kind of works that you do. So Thank you once again for having me, and all the
Thank
best. So that's the wrap, and we have come to the end of the interview. So yes, ma'am, the interview is officially over right now, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Krishna. It was really a pleasure having this interview with you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well. It was really special. Thank you. Thank you so much.